Hey YouTube land, Tyke here, welcoming you back for another action figure review. And today I'm hitting back with the G.I. Joe Classified series, and this is the Classified Tomax Powley. Now this is the other half of the twins, the Crimson Twins, or the head of Extensive Enterprises. It is Tomax. So if you've been watching my reviews, I've reviewed Xamot the first time, which is this guy, and as you can see they are twins. So if I bring my camera up a touch, I'll just have a look through the box first before I go on to the figure. So the box showcases the figure, artwork of the figure, and if you have both boxes, I have a feeling they're designed that when you connect them together at the side, you have both sides of the Crimson Twins. So you have Xamot on one side, Tomax on the other. Now I don't know if there's no way of kind of connecting the two boxes artwork on this side, but you have kind of inversed images. So where you have Xamot on this side, you have Tomax this. Xamot is 45 in the line and Tomax is 44. So, and they both have the same specialities on those kind of bio cards. So you have the exact same kind of skill sets, and on the back of the box you have the exact same kind of artwork on the back, and then you have all the legalese stuff on the bottom. So that aside, here is the figure we are going to be reviewing, and it is Tomax. So as I said, with Tomax, or with the he's bloody hairs on him. With Xamot, this guy is literally the same figure with just inversed bits, and Tomax doesn't have a scar on his cheek whereas Xamot does. So they both come with the same accessory, which is this MP5, which is a 3-piece weapon. So the silencer is a separate piece, and the magazine clip is a separate piece. Now, if this looks familiar, I did have it, and I don't know where I placed it, but I had the MP5 that came with the G.I. Joe Snake Eyes Origins movie classified figure. It's the exact same MP5 that comes with her. The only difference is the grip on her one has a brown paint application, whereas these are just done in the base plastic. There's no paint applications on it. I did find the silencer on my Baroness one was a little bit looser than on these ones, but that's just depending on how it's put together. So for a tape measure to see the height, you can see he stands just around a little over the 6 inches just with his hair. But these are designed to be in the 6-inch lineup. So basically, as I said, the figure is inversed compared to his brother. So you have the Cobra logo on his left breast, and you have the shoulder pad going over his right shoulder as opposed to the left shoulder that Xamot has. Again, same thing with his belts. The pocket is on his left side and the dagger side is on his right, and his boot dagger is on his left. Now, when I did do my review for the Tomax, or for the Xamot, I didn't have my 25th anniversary figures. I do have those. I dug them out, so you'll be able to see what they look like together, so you can see the design of them. But overall, this guy is quite nice. Now, I do find that the back plate on my Xamot seems to be a little bit more, it doesn't fit as nice and neat and snug as the one on Tomax. That's just mine. It could be different on your own figure, but the articulation is exactly the same. So the head is on a double ball joint. So you have a ball joint at the base of the head, and then you have a secondary one at the base of the neck. You have the butterfly hinge joint on the shoulders, and the shoulders can go all the way around. Depending on which shoulder you're using or which figure, you can move the shoulder guard out of the way. The only thing is, as I said on the Zaymot release, this is a smaller or kind of thin piece of plastic, so I would stress over time that that could snap off and could break, so just be wary of that if for overuse. Again, just like with Zaymot or Zaymot, I said his Tomax's wrist gauntlet would be on the opposite hand, which it exactly is. So you can see Zaymot has his on his left, whereas Tomax has his on his right. I think they're supposed to be like communicators or control devices, and then this is supposed to be the rest of the glove. Again, he has the exact same hand, so he has that kind of weird grasping hand, which is, it's not exactly a trigger finger hand, and it's not exactly a full grasp. You can see the bottom two fingers on his hands are kind of more indented, so his hands are kind of slightly like this, but you can still wedge the pistol grip or the machine gun grip into his hand, so it doesn't make too much of a difference. So he can hold in either hand, so it's up to yourself which hand you want him to hold it in. Double jointed elbows, just like the others. Swivel at the bicep. He has that swivel on the wrist. He has a up and down on both wrists, which is rare, if I recall. Let me just make sure. Yeah, he does have up and down on both wrists, which is rare for most of these figures, because if I bring in, who do I have handy? If I bring in the Cobra Trooper, what a lot of the time they did was they used a vertical hinge on the right hand, and then a horizontal hinge on the right hand, which would be most people's main pistol grip hand, and then a horizontal hinge on the offhand on the left hand. And they did that with a lot of the figures in the line. In fact, they do the same with the Baroness. Right, and actually no, Baroness here, this is the Cobra Island Baroness, so it's not the newer one, but it uses the same mold, so both her hands are on a horizontal hinge. So they seem to be kind of mixing and matching the hinges on the figures. But he can hold the machine gun in both hands. Again, this plastic is a bit pliable, so it should move out of the way for kind of doing the splits for the legs. You can drop the leg and kick forward and then push it back up. Same with the opposite side. You have to kind of drop the leg a bit for it to kind of get that range of movement. But you can kind of kick out and move it. There is a thigh swivel. There is the double jointed knee, so you can basically kick his own butt. He has those two daggers, just like his brother, which are in the... they don't come packed in the sheaths. They are actually separate pieces. You put them into it, but the detailing is exactly the same. As that, he has the thigh swivel. He has that armor plating with the Cobra logo on it. He has these codpiece, which also looks like a Cobra logo design. He has the tall boots with the kneecaps. He has the rocker ankles, peg holes, the whole shebang. He does have the peg hole on the back of the body, but because of the way this thing is designed, it utilizes that, so you can't really use it with anyone else's gear. Or you can't give him like a backpack off one of the other characters, so there is a slight downside on that. Face sculpt looks pretty damn good. The skin tone looks amazing on these guys. And what's interesting is that both he and his brother have a different hairpiece. So I think the faces are identically the same, and the hair piece is actually a separate piece, so it's kind of glued on top of this. So with the difference of the scar, as far as I know, the scar I think is a paint app and it's not a actual sculpt. I could be wrong on it, but to me it looks more like a paint app. And the heads look pretty much identical, as they should be, because they are identical twins, with the exception of the hair flowing opposite direction and that hair piece, or that scar. So they are pretty good, and they do stand pretty well. So I'll give him the machine gun in the same hand as his brother, so you can just see, you can have them both in the same hand and have them standing, so it's pretty cool. Now I do have my 25th anniversary versions of both these figures. they have aged a bit, so some of the plastic and some of the skin tone has frayed a bit. So this is Tomax and this is the Zaymat one. One thing that's interesting, that's different on the 25th anniversary ones, the shoulder pads are a lot bigger. They actually did them as a separate piece on a hinge, so you could actually clip them. They're more solid than the actual piece that went around the waist, the sash with the kind of rest of the armor plating. If I knock everyone over, let's just get you back in here. Other than that, they're pretty much good. Like, you can see the colorings are even the same. The color match almost identical to the 25th anniversary ones. One big difference the 25th anniversary ones have is they actually have pistol holsters instead of double daggers. So there's no dagger on the boot at all on these ones, and there's just a dagger on the upper thigh, whereas the classified series ones have just a double dagger set instead. So just for size comparisons, because I have them handy, I will bring back in the Cobra Trooper. Now this is the standard release Trooper, not the Cobra Island one, the one that came with the, like, the extra goggles and extra slight different paint deco. I was unable to get one of those ones, but I have this. This is the Cobra Island Baroness, so pop her in behind her hierarchy counterparts, or Cobra hierarchy counterparts. Then for one other size comparison from the classified line, here they are next to the Cobra Bat. It is interesting to note that there is a Crimson Guard version of the Bat coming. So it'll be this mold, except done in all red with, I think, this red for the accents instead of the, or sorry, it's not going to be red, it is going to be silver. I can't remember, but I know there is a version of this guy coming with Crimson Guard, or Crimson Twin paint deco. There's also a Python Patrol version of one of these, which I have yet to pick up, but this is the only version of the Bat I have so far, and I don't think I've done a review for this guy yet, but I will get around to doing a review for him. But all in all, the Crimson Twins are a really cool set. Now, again, at the time of this recording, they are only seem to be getting a release over in Europe at the moment. The release date still for the US is tending to be May, I think, 2023. Unless that changes within the next couple of months of this recording. They are technically a 23 release. Hopefully, since they're already dropping over here in Ireland and Europe and all those places, that they might update that. But at the time of this recording, the release date still on the Big Bad Toy Store website is May 2023. So there is that. There's a few other figures due for release that timeline as well. I think Stalker is also one of those figures. Yet there has been reports of the Sergeant Stalker figure being released in Europe as well, and the same with the Viper 3-pack. Some places have seen the Viper 3-pack already been released, but they are going for crazy money on eBay, so I wouldn't recommend going out of your way for getting them on eBay. These guys are a little pricey. They're about double retail on eBay at the moment, so if you're really wanting to get them, you could go that route. I would recommend waiting, even though I know the anticipation of getting a figure beforehand and having it in your collection before it's initially released is always a thing to have, but I do recommend maybe just waiting it out. They are well worth it, and they will be probably in plentiful supply when they do hit shelves and stuff in the US, but it's just a case of waiting. So there you go, guys. I hope you enjoyed this quick video review for both, for the Tomax figure, the other half of the Crimson Twins. I know I probably should have waited till I had both of them together and just do a big video review for the two of them, but because they're both the same figure, essentially just reversed. But overall, they are really cool to pick up, so I do recommend getting them, but don't pay over the price for them. So there you go, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you found it entertaining. So cheers.